Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's show, guys. Super excited. We're going to talk about farming, and we're going to talk about the farm culture in Butler County. And we're also going to talk about some crazy things that happen in the store on a weekly basis. This week, our guest, Mary Snow, woman of many hats. Super excited to talk to her about all the great things that are happening in the county and all the things that are happening with our farmers. But Ryan, before we start the farmer conversation, how was your week?
SprankleBros Podcast. Thanks to everybody watching. We appreciate all support. As always, since 1986, since the day that guy there came flying out of our beloved mother,
rough.
we are here.
I think we can say
and we are glad to be here.
we're glad.
You know, one thing, we're just going to have some fun with this, but one of the things is the funny stories, the funny things that happen to us every week. Sometimes it's not necessarily funny. It's just like, wow. Because, you know, when you're dealing with the public, when you're dealing with 10,000 people every week, 15,000, 20,000 people every week, there's bound to be some notable stories. And we've always said, well, we should write them down. We never write them down. So we're going to share them with you every week. The most notable story Doug and I have each week. We're going to make it quick.
Paul, we lost Mary.
And we're going to also tell you about one item a week about our wall, so you get to know us a little bit. We're out there. We're out there since 1986. I was born in 1980, Doug 86, so, you know, hey,
He's a lot older.
Since
a lot older.
But I will go into, first I'll tell you about something that one of my things. So this mug, if you know my relationship with my employees, my crew, it's we have fun. We have a lot of fun. Lisa Reisman, one of my favorite Reisman. There's two Reisman work for me, mother-daughter combo, and there's a big joke who's my favorite. She got me this mug. It's beautiful. Dear boss, thanks for being my boss. If I had a different boss, I would punch them in the throat and come work for you. Sincerely, your favorite. I mean, that sums up right there.
Have you ever had any personnel issues with Miss Reisman? Like, have you ever made her mad?
I haven't made her mad, but I'll tell you this: she's a great barometer. She's one of those barometers. If somebody is making her mad, or she's upset with somebody, or she doesn't like somebody, or she doesn't like somebody's work, honestly, out of the people that she's identified as people that she hasn't liked, none of those people are working for me anymore. She just has this radar for people that need to go.
Oh, so she's good because she catches the culture, and the culture isn't matching your culture,
right? Which
is the store's culture.
Yes.
Then she weeds them out.
If the Lisa Reisman alarm goes off, I know that wherever that alarm came from needs to go.
How important is the culture in business?
It's everything. It's everything, because you know what? Especially in retail, any business, it's chaotic. It's stressful. You have a lot of crazy stuff happening. There's ups and downs and in-betweens. There's all kinds of things that happen every day that just make it tough, basically tough. It's hard. So if you can have a culture where there's some humor, where people can have some fun while working, tell some jokes, lighten it up a little bit, that's huge. So one thing I know is when I'm going through the store, if there's somebody that I don't want to see, if I'm like, oh, are they working today? It's happened to me in the past. I mean, I'm sure you too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Now, as soon as I identify that I don't want to see that person, they're like.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously not customers. You're talking about crew members. Gone.
Beeps. Gots to go.
Gone. No,
Gone.
I get it. But at the same time, though, you gotta admit, I mean, there's times where you just gotta kind of go with the flow.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Not anymore. Used to be, yeah.
Customers, yes.
Oh, customers?
Yeah.
Oh, customers is a different story. They're paying the bills. I mean, I could get a customer that I think should be incarcerated for 10 years.
Or maybe is incarcerated.
Federal penitentiary, or just came out of incarceration. If they're spending $100, as long as they're not doing anything real radical, I'm just gonna, smile and say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, because you can't coach that.
No.
You can't coach.
Customers, you just gotta
coach it.
You just gotta hope they don't do anything radical.
Customers are radical, though.
Yeah. Speaking of customers.
Wait, what's your item? Oh, the mug.
I told you my item. But before we get into, tell an item on your world over there. You got a pretty diverse world over there.
Well, I do. I'm just going to go with my man, Mac Miller, here. So Mac Miller, why Mac Miller? It's because his songs represent Pittsburgh. It's really cool, local rapper. But his Donald Trump song, it's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
There's a lot of haters out there. And he knew it. That's why...
It's a shame guys like that, have to die, like to become real famous.
Well, it's like Icarus.
I mean, he was famous, but let's face it. Before he died, I didn't know who he was.
Right, but you remember the story of Icarus?
No.
Okay, Icarus was in jail. Him and his dad built some wings out of some wax and feathers. Tried to fly. It was going really good. They were getting away. Icarus is like, you know what? I'm going to fly closer to the sun because I'm cool. Guess what happens? Sun melts his wings. He dies.
Obviously, you burn up.
Right.
It's a terrible plan.
Right. So the closer you are to the sun, as far as like business, as far as everybody liking you, popularity, fame, money, the odds of getting burned are pretty good.
That's good. I don't have to worry about that.
Icarus.
So one thing we decided was we're going to say a story each week. So, Doug, what's your story for the week?
My story for the week, Ryan's camera battery died. How?
I'm still showing live, man.
Paul. Are you sure it's dead? Oh, it says dead. Man, we're struggling this week.
That's all right. They still got me over there, right?
They still got you over there.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go with it. Wow. Rough week.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah. Nah, guys. Podcasts aren't for everybody. It's not easy.
It's not an easy thing, you know.
But
got to keep rolling.
So story of the week. It's hard to run a business. It's hard to make.
Don't sugarcoat it. Don't sugarcoat this shit.
No. I'm going to sugarcoat it a little bit.
Get your lawyer thing out of the way.
No, I'm just
story.
going to say.
I can see what you're doing.
I'm just no. I'm just going to say.
How can I make this so it's
No. I'm just going to set it up.
Lay it down.
I'm just going to set it up. When you're there and you're already struggling, it's been a 14-day work week. You're just trying to get through it. Little things get annoying, like quick.
Amplifies.
Right.
That's why culture is very important. But yeah, go ahead.
Agreed. So we had a person that had a bad cucumber, right? So she calls in. She had a bad cucumber. She said when she cut it, it was mushy. Now
it happens.
Right, but it's always that question of when you grabbed it, was it mushy then? Probably not. But when you leave it in the back of your car for 4 days, it gets pretty mushy, hypothetically. But anyway, so she buys the cucumber, takes it home, lets it sit on her counter for 4 days, and then cuts it, doesn't like the cucumber, right?
Yeah.
Calls into the store, and what's our policy on returns?
Generally, you must have a receipt.
You must have a receipt, right?
Which, if you're a rewards card member,
it has a receipt on the program.
So that's why you should be a member. But anyways, go ahead, yeah.
Correct. So with that said, the receipt situation, she was there with the receipt situation. She calls in. She gets my front-end cashier and says the same thing. Front-end cashier says, I'm really sorry for your bad experience.
We're talking about a 75-cent cucumber.
Right.
Okay.
More than happy to return it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I was going to say, what's the issue?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, if you have a receipt, we'd be more than happy to return it. Well, I don't have my receipt. And she's like, well, I can't return it. Well, why not? Because I don't have a receipt. Well, do you have an app card? Yeah. Just bring the app card in. I don't know how to use it. Well, we can try to show you how to use it. Well, that's ridiculous. You should just take my word for it.
Was she a good customer?
I don't know.
I probably would have just given it to her at that point.
Right, but if we get everybody a cucumber, we're out of business.
Yeah. You got to figure, though, if she's passionate enough about to call in.
Here's my
for
thing,
75 cents.
No,
I could see if it was a.
Do you think
if it was a $150 Lego set?
Do you think Walmart's going to do that? Do you think?
I don't know.
No. Do you think Giant Eagle's going to do that? Do you think Aldi's is going to do that?
No.
Do you think Dollar General's going to do that?
No.
Do you think Sheetz is going to do that?
No.
Do you think Shop and Saves are going to do that?
I don't think Sheetz does returns.
No, probably not.
No.
Bad gas.
I don't think they do.
No, here's my point, though.
Bad gas.
No, but I mean, honestly, though. So, like, you have a situation where a customer comes in, calls
I'd have
in.
given it to her.
Guess how long it took?
More time than it was worth.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you got the other thing?
7 cents a minute.
I agree. But just have your receipt. Or your
I mean,
app card.
I probably would have given her a one-timer. I probably would have been like, hey, I'll give it to you this time, no problem. In the future, just make sure you keep your receipts or make sure you're an app card member so that we can access your account when you come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'd have done.
But here's my thing, though. Would you ever call a store over a cucumber?
Depends. I mean, it depends what your budget is.
A cucumber budget?
I mean, if you're a senior citizen on a fixed income, 75 cents might be a big deal.
Yeah, but 75 cents, and all you got to do is have your receipt, you get a new one.
Well, that's the learning thing. Normally, I give customers like that a one-timer, but then if Joe says his steaks are bad after he eats half of them, I give him a one-timer. Then the next week Joe calls and his bag of potatoes is bad, and then I say, Joe, okay, this is the last time I'm going to give this to you without a receipt and without you bringing it back. And then the next time he says about a cucumber, then at that point, it's over for Joe.
Well, here's a question, though.
I give him a little bit of room.
Why have policy if you're going to have wiggle room anyway?
Yeah, it's a separator, We're a small guy. We're a small business. We have independent relationships with our customers. It separates us.
No, I agree, but Keep your receipt, guys.
Well, it's very simple.
Keep
Be a rewards
the
member.
receipt.
Be a
Keep
rewards
the
member so we
receipt.
can access it quickly.
Keep the receipt.
And you can hopefully there isn't problems, but when there is, I mean there are time to time. Hopefully they can take care of it there.
So what's your fun story for the week?
So 8:00 a.m. I was actually with you. 8:00 a.m. I'm not even in the store I run. I'm in your store. There's a random call, kept ringing. So nobody's answering it because the girls are busy. You know, it was early in the morning, so they're working on stuff.
Thank God you filled this phone call, by the way.
I just
answered.
answered. Hi, Sprankles. How may I help you? Ryan speaking. How may I help you? And then this lady calls. She's cooped up in the corner of her living room. Her cat is under the chair, and she's literally being held hostage
By a feral cat.
by a feral cat. I said, "How'd the cat get into your house?"
Can you imagine this scene though? Like she's like talking
Well,
and the cat's
fact that I'm
listening, and she's like, "I think
I'm
the
in a
cat is
grocery
listening."
store. This is what makes it really funny. If
Right.
I was at some kind of a cat orphanage or some kind of a humane society,
Shelter of
it would
some
make
sort.
more sense.
Right.
I mean,
Professional cat wrangler.
yeah. I mean, a grocery store,
Hands-on
front
approach.
end management, and it wasn't like she got the cat from the store. It wasn't like she found the cat in the store. It wasn't like the cat incident happened at the store.
Right.
This is just her. I think it's wild that her instincts was.
Well, that's obviously she trusts the store.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To call,
She's like,
I got a problem with a cat holding me hostage in my house. Okay, I got one call. Who's it going to be? Oh, I'm going to call, why don't we call Sprankle's grocery store? They'll know what to do with the cat. So, she says, hey, I'm in the corner of my living room and I'm on the chair. And this cat keeps like staring at me, and it keeps hissing at me, and my other cat's afraid of it and won't eat. What do I do with this cat? And I said, call Orphans of the Storm. They'll guide you and help you. She said, well, I don't think I can get a hold of the cat, and I already called them, and they won't take him.
So this cat's probably pissing over the house.
Well, no, it's terrorizing.
It's probably like
it's ruining stuff.
It's probably on the table, like hissing at her.
The whole thing, and she's like afraid to get up off the chair. So she says, what do I do? Now keep in mind, I'm a grocery store, first of all. But okay, I'm gonna try to help this lady out. I said, honestly, if it was me, I'd try to get him, get gloves on, get oven mitts, whatever you got to do, get him into your car, take him to the woods and let him go. Just release him into the wild. And she said, keep in mind when she called, she was crying. She was upset.
Right.
She was distraught.
Wasn't very happy with the cat.
No. And she said, really? And I said, yes. I said, really? I said, you got to be strong. You just got to do it for your cat and for yourself. You got to load that cat into the car. You got to drive him to the middle of the
You
woods.
missed the most important part.
And you got to throw him out of the car. Not throw him, but,
Mary's in the podcast looking at you like you had 3 heads.
Well, no. and you know what? That sounds crazy. That's what you said. You were like, I can't believe you just told a lady to throw. Well,
we're not cat people.
At the end
you own a cat.
At the end of the conversation, the lady was strong. She was confident. I mean, she was ready. She was like Rocky right when the mouthpiece went in. She was ready to go. She said, okay. I said, well, you're going to be strong for you and your cat. She said, yes, I am. I said, good. I said, now you know what you got to do. Do it. And she said, okay. And you know what? Did you get another call from the lady? No. She's fine. She's strong. And you know what? She probably did that. Now she feels confident. She feels like a confident person.
So you missed one step here.
That can handle things.
Did you miss Price is Right when you were a kid? Spay and neuter your pets.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, people need to do that.
She should have took it to get spayed and neutered.
Well, no.
Then dropped it off.
Okay, I missed one
back
part.
to its natural habitat.
But, okay, so Doug ripped me up for that, and I'm sure everybody out in the audience is like, I can't believe he told her to do that. Here is the thing. We had a professional.
Cat wrangler.
We had a professional from Orphans of the Storm, president.
Well, you can't say names.
Of Orphans of the Storm. I could just say a president of one of the local Orphans of the
Storm.
Suggested. I said, what would you suggest in this situation? Doug, what did she suggest?
She said to call the cat counselor at the thing.
Which the lady did.
Which they're going to suggest to get spayed and neutered. And then they're going to suggest to take it to its habitat and release it back into the world.
Natural habitat and release it into the woods.
But make sure it's spayed and neutered first.
Yeah, I missed that part. But I mean, this lady is held hostage by a cat. Her poor
How's she
cat
gonna
hasn't eaten in a week.
How's she going to get in the car?
She probably hadn't eaten in a week. She's afraid to get off the chair.
How's she going to get in the car?
I told her to be strong. I said, you just got to be strong. You got to get some. I said, you got to race to the kitchen. You got to throw some oven mitts on.
Well, ask Mary about with the cat.
You just got to grab this cat, take it to the car, throw it in the back seat nicely.
Yeah.
And drive it to the woods and release it. And you thought I was wrong. There's probably people out there that think I'm wrong, but we had a professional tell me that I was right. But anyway, that's my story for the week. I thought it was interesting because we're in the grocery business, and I get that call at 8:00 in the morning. That tells me that people generally trust us.
Yeah. So if you guys need advice on what steak cut or where you put your cat, Ryan's your guy.
Hey, I'll answer all questions.
But we're gonna take a quick break to go to commercial break. We'll be right back. And we're back. And Ryan, please do the intro for Miss Mary.
Mary Elizabeth is in the house. Butler County Farm Bureau's Women's Leadership Committee member. She played a key role in organizing the Plan of the Future Agricultural Showcase, an event held in 2025 at the Butler Farm Showgrounds. Women's Leadership Committee, Pennsylvania Farm Bureau. I mean, she is farm through and through, leadership development. I mean,
teaching.
I feel like I should be involved in something you're doing because sometimes I question my leadership ability. And so, Mary, you've done a lot of good things. Tell the crowd the latest 3 things that you've been working on with the Farm Bureau.
Oh, really? That excites me right there.
Yes.
I'll tell you the number one thing we've been working on is the farmer trading cards. That's the number one thing. And to me, it brings 3 things together: advocacy, education, and promotion.
Well, the trading card, we were updated on that the other night by
Linda.
Yeah, and that is an interesting situation. For those that aren't aware, Mary, walk us through the trading card situation from the user standpoint. I'm Ryan. I live in Sarver. How do I get the cards? What do I do with the cards?
Well, Ryan, you're actually pretty lucky because you live in Sarver, which is pretty close to Saxonburg. And right now, along basically the 228 corridor area, there are 5 farmer trading cards from Series 3 available right now. Now, if you collect all 9 cards in the series during Butler Fall Festival and show them to us, you win a prize. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's a pretty cool prize. And Mary comes up with some great prizes.
I don't think I caught that in the first one. It's a scavenger hunt, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what it does is the biggest reasons that I got behind farmer trading cards is a lot of my friends are farmers. And what better way to advocate who they are and educate the public? Because I'm a teacher and I love educating people. So what better way than to make something tangible and awesome they can carry around with them? So here's one. This is kind of just special for me.
Hey, oh, wow, there we go.
That's right. So on my
Where'd you find the alien?
trading card, I actually own a farm in Ohio. I'm a 6th-generational farmer and teacher with my own personal family, and I love being advocates for farmers in Butler County. One of the biggest reasons is they have such big hearts, and they're always willing to do so much, such as right here, bam. This is a memorial card for George Dean. He passed away, but what a great way to really glorify his family, glorify the foundation, and make it so we can't forget. And on the back, that's where you get the stats, man. That's so cool. I get so excited that to be a part of the development committee, like a part of the people who said, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to do this to give back to the hardworking people of our county. But then we added the businesses. Stop at these businesses that support our county. Pick up those cards. Learn about it. The cards are free. I've had a lot of people say, can I buy a card? Nope, but you can go into Doug Sprankle's and Sprankle Market over there in Saxonburg. And right now, I think, Doug, do you have the Heasleys?
I believe so, yeah. Over right out the lottery. Right by the lottery
Do you
station.
have?
I think I have the Heasleys. They're right by the lottery station.
Okay, so that would be this card right here. And what's great is they have a nursery, but they teach 4-H and they teach local area 4-H students how to raise cows, how to fit them, how to show them, and how to work hard. And then you can buy their meat right here in Butler County.
So for us, we were talking about this before the show. So for us, the biggest, I think, Linda always says this, but I think the biggest disconnection between farmers and grocery stores is that, grocery stores are supplied by farmers. Now, whether it's the local farmer, national farmer, international farmer, I think that, people don't really understand that the closer the the source is to you, the higher the nutrient content is. Because as soon as it gets cut, as soon as it dies, as soon as whatever happens, the nutrient levels continue to drop off. And so the closer you can get to it and have access to it, the better it is for you.
And one of the principles that you're talking about is the stuff that Farm Bureau is working really hard to educate the consumers on. Yes, we have the Farmer Trading Card series, but we also did a series called The Flat Astronaut. And it's where we took a little flat astronaut guy like Flat Stanley and took him all over to the different farms and followed the farmers along. So first you get a politician involved like Marcy Marstello or Aaron Bernstein. They both made flat astronauts so that we can start to have the conversation of how important the political attribute of farming is. Like, how do we get the different politicians to help pass the right bills or to allow tax credits or a ton of lobbying stuff? But you get those different political people involved in the education, then they're vested. And then Stacy Miller and the Miller Farm, Stacy and Brian are good friends of mine, and they're right there on that 228 Saxonburg corridor. They are farmers. When you're a farmer, you have to be a mechanic. You have to be a truck driver. You have to be a tractor driver. Well, Stacy will go to Leechburg, I believe. She goes to a couple different places on her big tractor trailer with her soybeans, with her oats, with whatever she's growing. And she lets myself and a flat astronaut hop along and make an educational video about how it happens. So that's another thing that Farm Bureau is doing. So that's number 2.
So with the with the farmers, and Ron and I talk about produce constantly and how produce is so important. We talked about how calorie buying is going down, and when you're talking about groceries in general, you're talking about how many calories per dollar, and you can mix it up that you can buy super nice steaks, or you can buy certain proteins, you can buy all kinds of stuff. But with the produce that the farmers grow locally, obviously they're trying to reach that certain margin. And they're trying to reach that certain dollar point, which tends to be higher than grocery stores in general. But not to say, like, for instance, Jones Corn, we sell in all 3 stores right now. There's opportunities to partner with Sprankles and, get local to that nutrient source and get closer to it by selling the Sprankles. How do we get the word out to those farmers that, hey, you know what? Talk to Sprankles. They're more than happy to sell your stuff.
Well, you know what? First of all, a program like this and connecting with some of the leadership people of Farm Bureau, then those conversations continue in the different events that we go to. I personally think that there's a reconnect slowly happening. I think that there was a disconnect for a while where people were like, oh, it's easier to do it online. It's easier to order it this way. It's easier just to have Amazon drop it off. It's easier just to type on the computer. But one thing about things like the Buy Local flyer that we have that provides all the phone numbers for the companies, these are the companies that aren't putting you on hold for 45 minutes. These are the ones that it doesn't say, hey, have a new recording, press 27 to get hooked up into this area. And I have personally found that people around here like connecting at the personal level. But when it comes to the farmer view, farmers have just been so used to almost being ignored. I think having nice moments that reward those farmers are a great way to really bring those topics to conversation. Farmer trading cards, for example. Most of the farmers are like, I don't nobody wants my face on a farmer on a trading card. That's not true. Brad Toma, we are so excited to see your face on a farmer trading card, because not only do you help with the fair and help with the farm show, but you cut up all my friends' meats. Like, you are a great local member of this area. And Farm Bureau's farmer trading cards isn't only about the farmers themselves, because the farmers don't do it for themselves or by themselves. They need mechanics and tire guys to fix their tires. They need grocers, you know what, to make those connections with them to sell their corn. So you don't only buy it off the roadside stand, so you can buy it in, like, directly in the grocery store. And doing programs like this and having companies get behind it really makes a difference.
So when we were talking earlier about, like, promoting oneself and the farmers, I know with your daughter, she was very successful this year at the farm auction. But, it's interesting. You talked about, what has to go into that to be successful. And if you want to touch on a couple of those points, like, if you're somebody out there, you're a kid, you're a parent, how do you get involved in the culture? And what's the first couple steps you need to do to be a part of it?
Oh, I would say the very first thing you have to do is start going to the fair and the farm show. And don't just go for the rides and to blow your $30 to $100 budget on entertainment for the evening. Go and realize what the banners mean. Go and realize what the ribbons mean. Go and realize what the forms mean. Because all of those pieces of paper hanging above those animals represent knowledge and education about what that is. What's the name of the kid that raised that? What farm does he come from? What other animals is he raising here? Like, do you see that same name over in the sheep barn and the dairy barn and the rabbit barn and the chicken barn? And then maybe realize how many last names are the same. How thick is that family? And then when you get out into the family trees, you realize how many of these farmers really are the basis and the roots of our entire county. So you getting involved is getting your kids signed up for 4-H, or just start talking to the people who are at the fair and the farm show. Ask questions. There is an event coming up. It is in October. It is, I think that says the 18th, the 18th.
Saturday, October 18th, 2025.
There you go. So 4-H has lots of different fundraisers. And one of the things I appreciate with 4-H is it gives us other parents, other farmers, other grown-ups to help us along the way of educating and raising our kids. So some of my best friends are 4-H parents that I've learned to connect with by doing 4-H activities. But an event like this, it's an auction. Your dollars go towards our county being able to cut our kids a break when we take them to different educational camps, or even like in my club, all the kids in my club, the club gets paid for. It's $35 a year to join 4-H. And in my club, we raise extra money so that it doesn't come out of families. We do fundraising. Well, the county cuts in half for a lot of summer camps through things like this auction.
Ron, you're allowed to speak.
No,
I was.
this is interesting.
I was
One
stopping
quick-
you.
Ron, you made Ron nervous.
One
So
quick
long and
question.
then
One
take a
quick
break.
question.
So I was trying to take a break.
FFA. FFA, I'm from Huntington County originally. And FFA was huge in Huntington area, high school and Huntington area schools. It was a big organization. Honestly, there was more people in FFA than there was in the band, Future Farmers of America. So, like, is that still a thing, and is it still strong?
Okay, so just so you know, you hit a trigger.
Uh-oh.
FFA is amazing. That's Future Farmers of America in Butler County. Unfortunately, we have one school district that thinks it's important enough to keep it as an educational program. And I blame the politics of life and people thinking that the trades aren't as important, that farming isn't as important, that the college prep classes are more important than the other classes. And I find that is a horrible trend. We've tried to change it, but I honestly do not understand the politics of why we don't at least have it at Butler, like the main Butler High School. And people are like, oh, because there's not a lot of farmers. We have over 900 members of Farm Bureau. Okay. Just Farm Bureau. How many farms do we have? Actually, quite a lot. And in my opinion, if it wasn't so much faster money to just sell the farm for a housing plan or a development, we'd have a lot more farms. But what happens is the planned rural developments come in, and then that farmer money is, it's quick, easy money. You might as well take that and invest it instead of working hard for the next 7 generations, because that's what a farm is, working hard for 7 generations.
And it's a lifestyle choice. I was talking to the Halsteads. 98% of farms are funded by off-farm jobs, meaning that if you're a farmer, you're not making money off the farm to be able to sustain yourself. You have to make it from off things. A couple of things, I want to talk about this. You had your obviously first, now talking about the second planning for the future showcase. What was the, obviously you have a new partner this year, the Penn State Extension Master Gardener Program. Do you guys believe that enhanced the event?
Wow. It's one of those ones where I'd almost like to plead the fifth. I'm sorry.
Well, that answers the question.
Like, I tried to be as politically correct as possible. I did not like year 2 as much as year 1.
Okay.
I felt it was more a plant-based event as opposed to what I consider the event was supposed to be, which is planting for the future, which makes the emphasis on the education, not selling plants.
Not the tchotchkes.
They did well selling plants. That's great. But I just didn't see the emphasis that there was the previous year of a connection and a fellowship with all the parties involved. And you had stated earlier, Doug, how do we make it so that all the farmers around know that Doug Sprankles wants to sell their specific thing? This is how. How is to take the hard work of fellowship and time and labor sometimes, just working together in a group to have the conversations and the connections. That is what really the Planting for the Future event is supposed to be. It's really supposed to be where we're diving into what are these people doing and why are they here. Jessie Dressler, she's a teeth veterinarian for horses, a horse dentist. And she was stellar that first year. Like, brought a big horse skull in. Like, I never thought about getting a dentist for a horse, but she made an interactive activity that made you want to go inside and learn more. Same with that Tim's Worms. We have an amazing worm farmer in Butler County. He sells worms. He raises worms. He sells worm poop. You should be selling his compost at your grocery store in the garden section, because that's how cool he is. And he even has a farmer trading card and just got his very first vending machine for worms at Moraine State Park.
That's funny about the dentist. I always thought you're not supposed to get their horse in the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I've heard.
Yeah, me either.
I've heard of an animal chiropractor.
I believe Jesse's going to be at the Butler Fall Festival on the 27th of September in downtown Butler. So I believe she will be there, and you can check out her horse teeth skull thing. And she's a pretty amazing person. And like Muddy Creek Veterinarian Clinic, they were there. They have a whole thing on gallstones. So you can like see the stuff that they have to get out of the inside of animals. Both of these people also have 4-H, FFA, different attachments to the area. Jesse Dressler, they have a big beef farm, and Dr. Barb Carner, that owns Muddy Creek and Suburban Veterinarian Hospital. She's a big goat person in 4-H. Like, she's like who you go to get all your goat information.
That's awesome. So Mary, with all the things that are happening, I saw the Butler County Farm Bureau won the award last year, the Premier County Award, and that momentum was carried in 2025. How do you guys are going to use all the things that you've learned in 2025 for your plans for 2026?
Well, we're trying to work on getting just a little bit more organized. One thing with having a Mary in the group is I have a lot of ideas and I run with them fast and hard. We started that farmer trading card after a conversation with Food to Table with the state, and they wanted to do a digital farmers market trading card so people could learn more digitally about the farmers market. Well, as soon as this girl right here with ADHD heard trading cards for anything, she said, hey, we need a committee. We got to push it through. I want to see these cards out. I want to see 22 of them by next year. And then we as a group, we want to see some educational series. Doug, your group should be very interested in the very first farmer trading card series, because it's 8 cards of people who are all willing to do presentations. If they're willing to do presentations, they're definitely willing to be on a podcast. So you, as a business owner, as a cool guy, as someone who owns a grocery store and has your own objectives, dive into that first series, make the connections with those 8 people, have the Goldschneider tree guy, like Tom Goldschneider owns a Christmas tree farm. Make sure to have him on the podcast in November. There's tons of different farms in the different ideas in that area, and the trading cards are a way to begin the organization of them. Now, for the Planting for the Future section, the nice thing is all of the things that we are working on as a Farm Bureau, as women's leadership, they all fall under Planting for the Future, because everything we're doing is harvesting the soil, getting it ready to grow a good crop, plant a good seed, cultivate, and then produce a really good product for the future.
That's awesome. Awesome. Ron, is there anything I missed today?
Yeah, the Ag Table Talks. I think that's an interesting.
We missed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, if I'm understanding it right, FFA has kind of went by the wayside, so to speak, in at least Butler County. Hopefully it hasn't
no,
in
we still have Montauk. We got a foothold. And let me tell you that FFA does quite well. Last year's Fair Queen was a Montauk FFA, and she was president.
It's still thriving in Montauk.
So,
yeah. But the Ag Table Talks, how are they? Are they kind of filling the gap, the Ag Table Tops? So they kind of like when spots...
so the Ag Table Talk is throughout my understanding, throughout the calendar year, all the politicians get together, and under, like, if you're talking energy, there's this season of the year that we talk about energy. It's this season of the year we talk about cars. It's this season of the year we talk about agriculture. So right now we tend to have, we host a breakfast with the farmers, and we usually get Russell Redding, Scott Hutchinson, like your usual guys that were at that last one that we just had, I think 2 weeks ago at, I forget the name of the farm, but we hosted it at a farm, and a bunch of politicians come in, because that's when we start being ready to lobby in Harrisburg for some of the objectives that we have as Farm Bureau organization as a whole. So having those politicians and those people face to face right in front of you, that's when you can kind of put your thumb to them a little bit and put the pressure on, which is really nice because they can't pawn you off in their secretary. They can't leave and say they're in a meeting. They're actually in our county at somebody's house. And in all honesty, they are so willing to talk. I have talked, like Russell Redding, he knows who I am. Scott Hutchinson, Elder Vogel, and those are the higher up politicians. The lower ones, your 3 county commissioners, they come to these things. The politicians in Butler County do an amazing job of truly being advocates at the state level for us. And what those events that you speak of really do is make it so the public has an opportunity to really have a voice to those politicians. I know the last one I was at, it was a heavy conversation about deer because of all the planned rural developments that we have around here. Like all the deer are going to the farmers' fields.
Mm-hmm.
Then the farmers are losing acres of crops that are costing them money by the bushel barrel. And there's laws that prevent you just shooting and killing deer. So then we have to make amendments or whatever the politician word is for breaking the rules so you're allowed to break the rules.
Yeah, exemptions. Exemptions for everybody.
That's the word. Thank you.
Deer are
Exemptions.
tough. I mean,
Appreciate that,
that's
Doug.
a
Hey, no worries.
crazy. I couldn't
that
imagine if like
fancy
people
degree?
just released deer inside the store every night and they could just eat whatever they wanted before it was daylight, and then I couldn't do anything about it once it was daylight.
Yeah, it'd be horrible.
Just try to like shoo them over to the next situation.
Right.
I mean, that'd be crazy.
Right. Well, so they were trying to make a program where when you shot a deer, you would then call a processor, and the processor would then cut up the deer and give it to a homeless shelter. Well, on paper, that sounds gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. However, when you're shooting a deer in a field, now whose job is it to take it all the way to the processor?
How long is it going to take?
The processor. And where's that money come from? And then how's it going from the processor to the food bank? And who's also paying that? Those are a lot of the conversations which, when you have those politicians in front of them and in front of you, you can talk about it. I know the bee people are really up in arms right now because there's a new bee thing that is not good that basically says if you move a beehive, you can be fined like $25,000 from it's a pretty crazy whatnot. Wow. And I'm not sure of the politics behind it, but the bee people are upset about that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we can talk to the politicians about when they show up.
Yeah. Our producer Paul just made a good point. He's like, it'd be cool if we could DoorDash a deer.
That would actually be cool.
like a reverse DoorDash. Be like, hey, I just mowed down a deer. I need a DoorDash over to the processor place.
I can tell you, if I was a farmer,
maybe.
If I was a farmer, deer would not come on my farm. I would be the John Rambo of farmers.
Bandana.
I guarantee I'd be so discouraged the first time that I put all that work in and went out, saw all these deer like chuckling at me from the edge of the woods. I mean, I would go in full-fledged, get back from Vietnam.
So much money,
messed
too.
up, ready to go.
It's a lot of, when you break it down to the bushel and the amount that are displaced, it used to be a much more even distribution. But if you look along that, just that 228 corridor up by you guys in Saxonburg, as the different housing plans and bigger roads start taking over, you've got a lot of juicy smorgasbords for them deer that farmers planted to feed their cows, not the deer.
Yeah, Sparkle Woods has about 2 acres of corn.
I guarantee you, the first day after a bunch of deer ate my stuff, I guarantee it'd be like something out of Apocalypse Now. I mean, I would be
start playing the music,
coming into town, pulling the wagon myself, loaded.
I
with
did
deer.
not even realize what a big issue it was until I went to that farmer's breakfast.
I'd be sponsored too. I'd be sponsored by all the insurance companies.
About he was Rambo, and he was like, "Stop me! What are you gonna do about it?" And I was like, "Dude, this guy's got power. Why are you telling him?"
I'd be full-fledged,
But yeah,
he was
livid.
Sponsored.
I wonder if the last time. I mean, Game Commission, they got a lot
like
of problems. I
NASCAR
can't imagine
driver
being
and
farmers.
Rambo combined. I'd be sponsored by every
Yeah,
insurance company.
but if you get a phone call, you have to investigate. And technically, if you shoot that deer, you are supposed to haul it in. And this farmer's point was, I shot 15 deer last night.
What was his
because
name
there were
again?
like 60 in my field. Well, farmers are allowed to shoot them for crop. There's a certain number they're allowed to shoot and tag.
That's my
it's
question.
a fairly high number.
If I roll
they're
in, if
their
I roll with
crops.
a wagon of 60 deer
But
for the
they're
shelter,
supposed to take them in.
yeah.
And
So if I roll in
that's
with
a
60
lot.
deer on my wagon and I give it all to the, to the proper authorities, I mean, that's legal.
Probably.
Well, as long as you have, so there's a
why aren't
special
they doing it?
tag just for
Okay.
farmers
Okay, I got you.
to do that. And they can, I believe they can even shoot at night.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think the tag is like, it's a very special exemption and it has to do with crop management. And I believe lozenge is what it falls under. And those, once again, like, that's not my expertise in Farm
Yeah,
Bureau.
and I love deer.
But there are very specific people in Farm Bureau, especially once you get to the like paid employee level,
Yeah.
where they can answer those very important questions for you.
That's a tricky one because I do love deer. Like I enjoy watching deer. I like when I see deer
I
in
like
the
to
wild.
eat
It's really
them.
cool. Like they're really
Love
cool.
Deer jerky.
Yeah, and they're great to eat. But the thing is, it's like I like people too. But when I see somebody in the store stealing
Turkey.
I want them to be in jail for 50 years. Like, so like if I was a farmer, I wouldn't look at it as a cute deer. I'd look at it as something's trying to take away from my family. Like,
Well, right.
I'm
And
surprised
that's,
there's any
and
deer
that's
left.
why those
If I was a
exemptions
farmer, it'd
are
be
in
like-
place.
like I said, it'd be like the day after the Battle of Gettysburg at my farm. If I was a farmer, I think.
Hey, just so you know, you're banned
Family's
from answering the
going
phone in
down at
Saxonburg for like a
Ryan's
month.
house.
No, I love animals.
Some guy's gonna call and be like, "Hey, I had this deer eating all my favorite rose bulls." What I did, Ron's like this: kill them all, kill every single one of
I
them.
love deer.
You know
but
what?
I'm
And then if
saying
you take the body
they're taking
to
away
the-
from my family, which obviously is
Take
taken
the
away.
body to the game commission; they'll be cool with it.
And that's
No.
totally cool now because they're using it to feed people that need. I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Well, they're trying to, but here's the thing. You got to get it to the processor in time. You got to field dress it. What happens if you gut shot that deer? Like, there's a lot of questions, in processing that.
Does the farmer have to
for-
pay for the
it-
processing?
It's different. You got to do it and do it right
Yes.
when you do it.
The farmer has to pay for the processing.
Well, I don't know those answers. That's
That's a
that
key
was the
answer
questions
because-
that the farmers had that I didn't hear the
That
answers.
actually is a very key
because
piece of
once
information.
again, in paper, it sounds great.
Yeah.
In the long run, where's that money? Like, how do I get that money? Like, I take it to the processor. Now what? As it stands now, I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to call the game commission.
Okay.
And it has to be tagged, and then they're supposed to get it.
Sounds like a
But
great program.
Have you ever seen a deer on the side of the road in Butler that's already been tagged, and you're looking 4 or 5 weeks later and it's still there, and they haven't picked it
Toasty.
up yet?
Toasty.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it
I
looks,
don't look for the tags.
it looks exploded. It
Yeah.
looks like a puffball.
There's
I mean,
a
I
lot.
don't think
That
from
one
a
on Route
farmer's
8 was meant for a
perspective, just
hot
go out
minute,
there
man.
And the nice thing is, I mean, you're feeding homeless.
Oh no, it's a great idea in practice. I think we need to bring up.
As long as you're not paying for the processing, I think it's a great program.
Right, but who pays the processor?
That's my
Hey,
question.
here's my question too: aren't basically farmers baiting deer? Because think about it, you have a whole thing
No,
a crop and
deer
they
are
shoot it.
little
It's like
thieves.
no, I know. But it's like
Deer
a
are
whole you have a whole
thieves.
field of like their favorite food, and you mow them down. You're basically baiting.
Here's the thing. Here's an interesting thing. Like I said, I'm a big deer guy, but like, let's face facts. We all, if we see one mouse in our house, what do? We either call an exterminator, or we go to the local store. We grab as many traps as we can. All kinds of horrible traps, horrible things that cause just excruciating deaths for these animals. And you can kill 500 mice if you want.
You're right. Getting shot's way easier.
Yeah, and you don't get no meat either.
Right.
No.
But my
Mice,
point is, it's
zero.
funny because
Maybe a little
you can
fur.
kill 500
Like,
mice and nobody cares in a horrific way. That's like 5 days of them vomiting until they die.
I think it's 5
But
days.
you can go out and you go out and you shoot one deer, and you don't, take them to the processor quick enough, and you're cuffed and stuffed, and you owe 25 grand to Uncle Sam.
That's for the bees.
It's crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's the bee
interesting.
one. I don't know about the fines with the deer.
I mean, 500
I'm sure
mice.
that
You got
one's more like
sadistic people
jail
out there
time
just
for
whacking mice
poaching
left
or
and right.
I don't know if you're looking forward to
That's
it. It's not like you're signing up
and
for the
like
bicycle
you
killing.
said, Doug, if they feel like, dealing with that. I mean, there's only so many game commissioners around here, and I'm sure they probably have other fish to fry.
Oh, great point, Mary. Well, Mary, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. Awesome things are happening in Butler County and just in general for promoting farming. And I love the playing cards. The playing cards are like an homage to the original pre-cigarette cards that people used to get and collect. And now they're worth millions. So you never know. One
Cards
day,
are coming back.
Well,
Right.
All the cards are
garbage
coming back.
pail cards are where I was at. Like, I love garbage pail kids.
yeah,
I have
was
quite a
big.
few.
those are cool.
And I was very, very blessed to see it happen in Butler County first. Because what's really amazing is other counties are using our model and have been calling me for since we started in March, and we are about to print series 4.
Oh, wow.
So we already have 27 cards out. So to me, that's 27 people, locations, or organizations that we have shown, in my opinion, praise to for their dedication, for their hard work, for the things that they do or have done to make this county just as amazing as it is. Because Butler County, it's made up of some really good people, and they do some great things. And Doug, you and your family, have really added to that and kept it more of a way that I personally like. Like, I like the people first philosophy, as opposed to, I get Aldi's has cheap stuff and it's great, but they're not as personable. They don't know how to bend/tweak the rules or really connect with the people on the same plateau that Sprankles, in my opinion, does. You know what? We don't have to go 7 stages up at corporate to see if we can hang this flyer for our community. No. Yeah, I can make that decision because I own this business.
Right.
Not because some giant corporation that tries to dictate the rules of life upon us all. And in my opinion, that's one thing that Butler County really is behind, is the smaller business, the more homestead level farms, the really making the little people matter and be able to make their own decisions instead of having their decisions and their choices dictated by bureaucracies caused by giant corporations that really don't pass out the money the same way the small businesses do. The small businesses are the ones that are funding the Little League baseball teams, the Girl Scouts, the backs of t-shirts. You're not really seeing the Aldi's, the Giant Eagle, even the Nike, backing our local baseball team. You see Sprankles, you see Heasley's Nursery, you see Speckled Hen Chocolates sponsoring these local things because they're local people and they're kind of tired of having a big company make all the rules.
Absolutely. And if you call an Aldi store manager, they're probably not going to be willing to give you advice on what to do with a feral cat in your house.
No. Unless it's for the Vaterland. Das ist gut.
They're not.
Cat.
They're not going to give you that advice.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Mad Max from Thunderdome. I'm more of a I am the law. You got that Tina Turner thing kicking.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you
mine.
so much, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you to the
Yeah,
guests.
it's very nice to meet with you guys, and maybe we can do it again sometime. Like you said, the Butler Fall Festival, the Purse Bash is coming to the farm showgrounds.
I heard about that purse bash.
too.
Somebody told me about
so
it today.
keep that in mind.
It's good.
That's also
Mike
the
and Tanning told me about
27th.
that.
And then the auction. Those are the 3 that I wanted to advocate for. And if you get a chance, follow the Facebook page for Butler County Farm Bureau Women's Leadership. That is where you will find the information on where to pick up your farmer trading cards. Once again, if you bring us Series 3, all 9 cards, you get a freebie on the 27th.
Sounds awesome. Thank you so much. We'll make sure we share with you the podcast once it's completed next week, and get the word out there to all the people in our audience and your audience. And hey, we'll keep growing together. But thank you so much.
Mary.
All right, Ron, take us home.
And for all of you out there that liked what you saw, keep watching because it's only going to get crazier as we get better with technology and all that stuff. So stay with us. Get inside the mines. We've been living in our mines for 40 years, and it's interesting.
Can't do without you. Come and see us.